check.
Just start randomly and
Yeah, I would, because this would be facing me only. So I would start it at some point, and we'd be talking, and then I'll just go into the intro because that's just how I did it.
And then later, if we end up listening to it ourselves, we're like, okay, where did he start?
Yeah.
But what did I say?
Also, then you find out what all I cut out.
Yes, exactly.
Because if we had like technical issues or particularly long pause, like early days, like every little pause that was more than about that long, I was cutting out.
Yeah.
It'd be really ironic if I went and cut that out.
it's like, geez, what are we, YouTubers?
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh,
no,
man.
you got to have the hard cuts, like
Dude, no,
like
no.
The
space, like absolutely no space between one sentence and the
the
next.
hip hop cuts.
I don't know. I don't know how some people do their shit, but they will have the most terrible sound quality, and all those pauses like that. They leave all that shit in, and I'm like, dude, Matt did it better, and we don't even have a main channel.
Dude, it's like, oh man, oh wait, I think it's
Just wavelengths.
Click your button.
I wanted to like stay active so I can see where the current thing is in case we have anything. But see, it was doing this last time. I don't remember what I did to fix it.
It's probably one of those buttons at the top.
It is. I thought it was a button right here.
Try the little magnet or something.
It was that one. It was that
there
one.
you go.
I was looking here. It was right there.
What was it doing?
So now when it gets to the end of the thing, it'll jump. So that way, because if that's off when it gets to the end of it, it'll just keep. It's still recording, but now I don't see what it's doing.
Oh,
So
okay.
'cause-
So you can monitor for issues.
Yeah,
Keeps up with
because I still haven't cleaned this thing out.
Oh,
so
yeah. I remember you saying you were going to do that.
the gain knobs have a little dust in them. So what'll happen sometimes is, especially with me, I'll start to dip in levels. We won't hear it, or we generally won't hear it too much, but that will start getting smaller based on how you're talking.
Right.
And then I'll just wiggle it, and then it'll be, see, like it,
Wiggle,
see if
wiggle.
I bring my
Just
gain
a
way down,
little bit.
bring it back up. Wiggle.
wiggle.
I like that everybody jumped in
Copyright.
on that.
Everybody went to a different song.
Remember, we're going on YouTube now, so
Oh,
yeah, I don't want to pay for SoundCloud anymore because we're not doing it regularly enough.
That's fine.
But
Rumble.
And also because I'm not paying for it, like we can only listen to the most recent episode on there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
But if I put them all on YouTube, then they'll just be there, and then that'll be fine.
Probably more visibility that way anyway.
That's kind of what I'm hoping.
well, we'll see how long it takes for us to get canceled.
Yep. All right. And on that note, welcome back to Somewhat On Point. Oh my God, it's been a year. It's
Did
been
you
a year.
forget
since
your own name?
It's
No,
been
no.
slightly over a year.
Maybe. No, it is. Yeah, it has been just over a year since our last one, which I know we said we were going to do once a month. But we're doing once a year, so we'll see you in a year again. Anyway, as always, I'm your host, Matt, and we have
Luke.
And Brandon.
And today we have special guest.
Zach.
Hi, Zach.
Hey.
Zach is a coworker of mine, and this is an intervention. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, man, I have problems.
No.
I play League of Legends way too much.
Yeah.
I'm leaving.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
it. That's it.
Well,
That's all we're getting.
Oh, God.
No,
Bitter feed.
today actually, we were just going to do a recap, kind of a catch up on what all we've been playing lately. And Zach actually had a really good idea, which is why I invited him on in the first place.
Hey.
What is the best year in gaming? That's going to be the topic we're going to stick. So, as I said, the name of the podcast is Somewhat On Point. I don't think I ever even told you that.
Nah.
If we go off the rails, that is totally fine. That is the point of the title of the show. So we kind of have a topic. We generally stick to it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had it go where we were talking about a game or something, and we went straight all the way almost into politics at one point.
Oh no, yeah.
And then
we
we
did go all the way into politics.
Like,
on
you
multiple.
have to.
Yeah,
times.
we've had to like stop and be like, okay, we got to stop. We're going back to got to get back.
With everything
On
that's been
point a
going
little.
on, it's not surprising.
Yeah,
I mean, if there is the option, you have to drop the nuke. You have to come off the top turnbuckle. I mean, you have
See,
to.
see now you're
you go.
you're speaking to my aliens fetish there.
There we go.
Okay, so I guess we can start off with your little theory that you told me about this morning, Brandon.
Okay. So there are obviously certain years that a lot of people would consider to be generally best years in gaming, whether that be console releases, game releases, even entire franchises that are nowadays popular that would have started in whatever year. But I was looking at it and I was like, okay, well, these may not be the best years, but I noticed that there's a bit of a pattern. it seems like on the sevens,
Yeah.
that would be the 97, the 2007,
Yes.
for example, we get really, really solid years. So I looked at it, and it turns out this.
Sorry.
Bless you. It turns out this could go all the way back to as far as 1977. So
Is that when Pong came out or something? I'm just shooting in the dark.
that is actually when the Atari VCS,
Okay.
the 2600, was released. There were also the TRS-80, or the Trash 80, as people call it.
TRS-80 Color Computer 2.
Yeah. The Apple II was released that year. And some arcade games, nothing huge that would be like kind of sticking around today, because it was still really early days of video gaming in general. Although with those systems, you got a lot of popular things. And some side gaming related items that happened that year. Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater
Hell yeah.
started. Nakamura Manufacturing Limited changed its name to Namco. And the first electronics boutique opened.
Oh, wow.
Man.
Games.
So 77 was a pretty significant year for gaming. You skip ahead 10 more years, you hit 87. That was when Legend of Zelda was introduced outside of Japan. We also ended up getting Zelda 2. We got new instances of Contra, Double Dragon, Final Fantasy,
I thought that
Mega
was a
Man,
Contra year.
Metal Gear, Phantasy Star, Street Fighter. The biggest arcade game was Outrun.
Oh man.
So again, 87, solid year. We even got a couple other games. We had Afterburner. We had Bubble Bobble was a huge game that year.
Oh my God, Bubble Bobble. I
Mm-hmm.
remember that one.
So skip ahead to something a bit more modern that we all would actually know about. Let's talk 97.
There we go.
So
Here come the bangers.
So I'm going to expand that one a little bit. We were kind of discussing the 96, 97, 98 area. That, I'm going to stop with my theory here. I would argue that it's not a specific year, but that time range is probably the best for video gaming that there ever was.
And what you're saying is what I thought of, but just didn't say and wanted to wait until we got here.
Mm-hmm.
It's less about it being the best year in gaming. It's about there have been certain renaissances
Like an
in
era.
gaming, and
Yeah.
and it kind of feels like we might be entering a new one. However, there's a caveat. For the new one, I think part of what's happening is all of the stuff that get pushed back because of lockdowns is finally coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's part of it. But maybe we could be entering a new one as well. But yeah, like around 97, before and after, yeah, that's another renaissance for sure. And I would say 360. Like the 360 era, that was a renaissance.
2007-ish.
Yeah, I mean Mass Effect.
I mean, that
And then the next year after that, Dead Space.
around the same time, like the Xbox Live Arcade, like the summer of arcade.
Yep.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was-
Dude, I miss Summer of Arcade.
Dude, that
man.
was like game changing. And then, like I told Matt, we had a breakfast for work, and I was like, the trump card for 07 is Rock Band. Rock Band came out in 2007,
You're-
and I know that
Dude.
You're preaching to the choir. over there.
exactly. Like, I mean, that was a game changer.
I still play Rock Band 4. I still have every song I've ever got. It's around 1,300 songs.
Yeah.
And I have a wish list of about another 600 songs. It is insane.
Was
But
it
yes,
Rock Band or Guitar Hero that we used to play when you had those parties?
that was Rock Band.
Mostly
Okay.
Rock Band. Occasionally Guitar Hero for
It's been
like
so long ago.
A couple of songs.
and Metallica. When Metallica dropped, we were pretty heavy on
Yeah.
that.
I remember
Yeah.
y'all playing that. I remember y'all playing the Beatles one too. Y'all played all of this
Oh, the
stuff.
Beatles one was
yeah,
so
dude.
good, though.
Y'all played all of those. Like
Oh,
every
yeah.
time they dropped something new.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I had
But
to
yeah.
pull the mic away for the James Hetfield. I didn't want to bust everybody. up.
Appreciate that.
No
So,
problem, dog.
but again, that was 2007. Falls in line.
Yeah.
Because that's also the year we got Modern Warfare, Mario Galaxy, Prime 3. We got Half-Life 2 Episode 2. And they introduced Assassin's Creed, BioShock, Crackdown, Crysis, Mass Effect, Portal, Skate, The Witcher, and Uncharted.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That was a stacked fucking year.
Yeah.
So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and
Mario
officially,
Galaxy as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna like what I said. I think the best 3-year stint in gaming is 96, 97, 98. 96 had both Mario RPG and Mario 64. What?
Nothing. It's just, I mean, we're getting the same thing this year.
Yeah.
Like, that's the craziest
yeah.
thing.
Oh, I can't wait for Mario RPG.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so
That's
fucking
gonna be so
stoked.
great.
But yeah, some of the big ones, Wipeout XL.
Oh, yeah.
Loot.
Oh, my God,
Tekken
dude.
2, Civ 2, Wave Race, Parappa the Rapper,
Oh my
the
God,
first
yes.
Tomb Raider, Soul Edge, Resident Evil, Command and Conquer, Red Alert, Command and Conquer on Sega. Wait, what is this? I don't know. I guess both of them.
To stop you for a second there, Wipeout XL was solely responsible for my love of electronica.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Nice.
That soundtrack,
yeah.
fuck.
Still banging.
Yes.
good. Still.
Kinda-
Oh, dude, I still listen to
Kind
it.
of similar
Yeah.
was Rez for me on PS2.
Yes.
Like that, like opened my eyes to like, okay, there's music games. Like
Who-
there's things.
Who did Rez? I'm trying to remember.
I know it was by Sega by some way because
No, I was trying to think of the dev.
Yeah, I can't think of
I
it
have
either.
no clue.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of soundtracks and stuff, our friend Fernando, who we talked to some years ago over in the UK,
Yeah.
he made a tweet this morning about the Ridge Racer Type 4 soundtrack. That's a banger.
Yeah.
I never really played the game much, but the soundtrack is great.
It is though.
That would I would have that playing during some of the really, really late night stints and those overnight races that I would do. That would keep me awake.
Yeah.
I had a mix of that and F-Zero X and GX to keep me going.
So good.
Fucking I'm just looking at like this list of all these games. Pokemon 96, Pilot Wing 64, Duke Nukem 3D, Nights into Dreams, that legendary classic
Fabulous
that
game.
I really loved when it came out and never touched again.
I've gone back and played it. It's still solid.
Yeah. Apparently there's a game just called Formula One on PlayStation.
There you go.
I wonder if I remember when I got my PS1, my cousin gave it to me, and there was an open wheel racing game on it. I think it was F1, but I don't remember. I just remember it was the first time I ever drove in the proper cockpit view when you could see the big chunky blocky tires,
Yeah.
because polygons.
Yeah.
But yeah, X-Men versus Street Fighter, Virtua Fighter 3, King of Fighters 96, like fighting games were, starting to really, really, really kick off.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just
So it's funny
Oh, my God.
looking at that list of games. It's interesting the technological range of those games, because we've got your 2D 16-bit Super Nintendo games coming out. You've also got these what you think of as like classic 3D games that are hitting the market. Then you've also got on the PC side, you've got a little bit more advanced 3D games. It's weird just the technological spread that we have there. Because it's funny to look back at that and say, holy crap, those came out in the same month.
Yeah.
It's like, what the hell?
I just saw on here Shadows of the Empire,
Oh my
which
god.
arguably did not play well.
That needs the remake.
But it was a big.
Shadows was like
They were still figuring out 3D controls.
Also,
ultimately.
Mist came out too.
Yeah. Shadows was like the original Mass Effect. It was a flawed experience that you didn't give a shit about the flaws.
Yeah.
Just because it was, I say it was the best Star Wars game of its time.
Rogue Squadron, which was also on 64. That was arguably better. But it was just a flying game.
I was about to say, for me,
Yeah.
it was the adventure of it, and yeah, I want it to be on the ground.
And for me, like those, like the sequels were better. Like,
The two on GameCube.
yeah, like,
Yeah, they were definitely better. They were controls were tighter. I still have
You can
the
have
second
the
one.
flying car, you can like a flying Buick.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's funny
Good.
that it's taken so long to get back to good Star Wars games now.
Yeah,
Like, finally.
cautiously optimistic about the Ubisoft one, like the one with the
The open world.
scoundrel deal.
It definitely looks good. I'm just hoping that they hit the tone.
Yeah,
I think they will. I mean, has there been any Star Wars games or anything lately that hasn't?
Well, there haven't been many.
Yeah. So the few that have
They
been
keep
out,
killing
the,
them.
the
Yeah.
only exactly. I mean, this is the closest thing we'll get to a 1313 since 1313 was a thing,
Yep.
and it's still not going to be anywhere near what that game was going to be.
Right.
And what's sad is we had the actual gameplay from it. It was playable. I mean, not the whole game,
Right,
but they
right.
had playable sections of that game, and they looked great for their time. I mean, obviously now you look back at it and it's like it looks like 360,
Yeah.
but it was an older game.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe in this game it will go on level 1313 is almost sort of like a
Homage.
yeah.
At this point, I would have rathered them actually make Ragtag.
Yeah. That
Ragtag sounded amazing. I mean, dude, freaking
Amy Hennig.
Amy Hennig. Yep.
A Soul Reaver, like it's one that like I was too young for, and then like I've watched YouTube videos of it because like it's kind of clunky to play.
Dude.
Like I have 2 or 3 of them on the original Xbox, but it's just
All of the remakes coming out right now, I want Legacy of Kain back. What's taking you? What's taking you, Crystal? Come on. It's like they're working on what are they working on with Amazon Studios? They're working on a new or maybe a 4th game in the Tomb Raider Survivor Saga. So it's either going to be a new Tomb Raider game, which it's like if they're not going to continue the Survivor Saga, I'm probably out because that's the only version of Tomb Raider I ever really liked.
The what saga?
The Survivor Saga.
Oh, Survivor. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I'm sorry.
Because that was how they pitched it, the first one when they rebooted it. But yeah, that's what they're working on now, and there's been almost no word whatsoever on a Legacy of Kain. Like it's been kind of talked about, but they've never actually said they're going to do it. It's really unfortunate.
Do we know the status of Kain after the Embracer purchase?
Well, didn't they?
Papa
They just
Embrace.
had a big announcement recently about, I think, letting a bunch of people go and shut. Maybe I don't know if they're shutting down any studios or anything, but they were like
cutting
One-
down.
I
they're,
know
they're
the
scaling down from that giant ass acquisition.
I know
they
the
had
IP's
recently.
kind of bounced around a little bit. I just wasn't sure where it ended up.
Maybe that's part of the issue. I don't know. I don't know who actually owns it. Maybe it's not Crystal now. I don't know. From what I understood, it was a Crystal property.
Well, I think
be.
so. That's what I'm saying. They were whenever they were released from Square Enix.
But I mean, who?
that was like a fire sale, man. 300
Yes.
mil for those 3
For real.
studios.
Dude, yeah, we talked about it actually when it like soon after it happened. But yeah, that was. I mean, I
You
can't
want to
believe
hear
they
my
did
theory
that.
on that one? I think that Square Enix was trying to like load off all their like American assets, so that way Sony would like want to acquire them. Like they would kind of, I guess, be more
I
centric
think-
to Japanese
I
side of
think
market.
that they were financially in trouble, like
Oh,
they were
yeah.
after that first, or what the only Final Fantasy movie they ever made. They never
Spirits
made
Within?
another one, did they?
yeah,
They
Spirits
only
Within,
made,
that
they
was
made one theatrical release.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
made
That-
movies.
That was the whole reason why Square Enix is a thing. It was SquareSoft before that. But I think they were in financial trouble, and they didn't have time to try and search for a better price, and they needed the money now. I think that's what it was.
cool.
So I saw right before you guys all got here, Phil Spencer tweeted out that
Yeah.
they signed a binding agreement to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation. And one of the best replies that I saw, which isn't necessarily true. Actually, never mind. It's not true at all, but it's really funny. It's a clip of James Franco from one of the Spider-Man movies when he goes, "I'm ruined. All I have left is Spider-Man." I was like, "Oh, that's pretty good though. That's
Man,
a good joke."
that whole thing was just entirely Sony projecting, and I don't know how they managed to fool so many of these old white people that don't know what the hell they're talking about in the government.
Yeah, I don't know.
I love that we learned a lot from it though.
Yeah, and most of it was stuff that we already suspected.
Yeah.
It just ended up proving it in court. Like, yeah.
So I haven't really been following it that closely. So if you want to explain what all has been happening over the last like week or two, or kind of the
So,
nonsense.
The latest of it. So the whole time, Sony's been arguing, oh my God, Microsoft is going to do A, B, C, and D. And it's all stuff that Sony has been doing the whole freaking time.
Yeah.
They're going to make all these games exclusives. They're going to make sure the game is optimized more for Xbox and make PlayStation suffer. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. It's all stuff Sony's been doing the whole freaking time. Microsoft is saying, no, we're not. And on top of that, we're not stupid enough to make Call of Duty an Xbox exclusive.
They're just projecting.
So Sony's been projecting the whole time, and our lovely, ignorant old white men in government have decided that they're going to actually believe that for a little while. And thankfully, the judge in the case completely saw through their bullshit and said, no.
Well, didn't the judge also have a son or somebody who works for something related to Microsoft Gaming or something like that?
I doubt it, because if that were the case and Sony's lawyers or the FCC's lawyers are not
They would've said
completely
conflict
fucking
of
incompetent,
interest.
Yeah.
they'd have thrown her off the
Yeah,
case.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I saw an article come out about that, and I'm like, I don't know if this is just some if this is somebody on Sony's side just fucking trying to throw a Hail Mary to try to get the case thrown out or something.
They tried
Well, it never
anything
really was.
and everything.
That said, it never really was Sony's side. Sony has no part in this.
Yeah.
This is actually just FTC versus Microsoft.
Right.
Actually, now I'm thinking about it, it might the relative to the judge might actually work for someone in Activision, but like maybe not directly. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Either way.
But the whole thing was that person potentially stood to gain or lose their livelihood based on this decision. But yeah, as you said, that would be a conflict of interest. But I mean, it came out. I saw articles about it. So
they're probably it's probably like a third cousin 4
I
times
was about to say,
removed or
maybe
something
it
stupid
just
like that.
simply had no bearing.
But one of the stupidest arguments I saw, actually, I believe, came from the UK, who is still holding out on it. And I think the only reason they're doing it is because the EU said it's okay. So the UK is just going to be the differentiator because they're still mad about Brexit. They actually at one point argued that it would harm the streaming market.
Yeah.
I
saw that.
And that was the most mind-numbingly stupid thing they could have said, because Sony had game streaming way before Xbox ever did it. NVIDIA's game streaming existed way before that. I used to subscribe to a service called GameTap that originated as a video game streaming service. It was way ahead of its time.
On live.
On live.
Yeah.
There's no issue with the streaming market. Especially because one of the things that Microsoft is going to do is they're going to actually put the games on streaming services. They've already straight up said that we're going to make the games more available to more people.
Yeah.
A lot of people are screaming, "Oh, but they're going to be a monopoly." There's nothing wrong with monopolies. The problem comes whenever a monopoly starts abusing its market position.
When they get lazy.
A monopoly in and of itself is not illegal, and it is not bad. It just tends towards going bad because the shareholders won't allow them to do anything but make the absolute most money as possible.
That's what I was going to say. It's about people being in the industry who have no passion for gaming. They're there just to make money.
Fuck that dude.
Bobby Kotick is probably one of the best examples of it in gaming history. Like, did you see the comparison of I can't remember his name, the guy in charge at Nintendo, what his take was compared to Kotick?
What, Bowser? Doug Bowser?
No,
Is the
no,
new guy?
no.
Or-
Before
It's a
him.
Japanese dude.
Oh.
The one that everybody loved.
Kotick's take was,
Iwata.
Iwata-san?
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Kotick's take was around 150 mil. Iwata's was like 5.2. Why?
Well, he even
because they
halved it.
put all the money back into the company.
And that's what you're saying,
Yeah.
exactly. The Nintendo had a rough stint, so he's like, you know what? I'm taking a massive pay cut because this is my fault.
And I don't know if he had cancer at the time, but he probably, because I know he suffered from pancreatic cancer throughout like his tenure as president there. And it's just like, this man is like the exact opposite, complete opposite of Kotick.
And
Right.
Kotick's got some other controversies surrounding him too. The dude's
Yeah.
an all-around asshole. He has been for a very long time.
It seems like this is kind of generalizing, in Western companies, you kind of have to be to get that high in the ranks.
That's
in
because
California for sure.
That's
and
because
that's where
the
all the headquarters
shareholders.
are.
That's because the shareholders don't want anything but the absolute most money possible in the shortest time frame possible.
Yeah, of course.
They don't give a shit about anything else. They will run you into the ground.
Don't forget who me and him work for.
I realize this, and that company's
Papa
one of the-
Sauron.
one of
And
the
I-
embodiments of it.
And I know how you feel about it.
Yeah. Hey, look.
You guys, you guys. I'll say it for you. Y'all don't have to. So y'all don't have to put your jobs in jeopardy if some idiot at that company decides to.
Thank
not,
you.
Not even remotely.
Yeah.
But The main one thing I saw that the FTC kind of pulled out as like a Hail Mary type of thing. I want to say like Thursday or Friday. It was like, well, what if they have a specific skin for like Christmas on Xbox and it can't be for PlayStation? I'm like, they've done that for
Welcome to gaming.
yeah.
How many years has Sony been doing that to everybody?
Well,
Look at Destiny alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, talk about the people on Xbox that want to play Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean,
Yeah. It's essentially, I don't want to hear it.
yeah.
Because they've been doing the same thing the whole time, and now they're just scared because somebody else is daring to challenge their position.
Okay, I'm gonna make a bold statement, sort of. This might come from. I'm just gonna say it. You guys tell me what you think. Okay, people that complain, oh well, I want to play Final Fantasy on Xbox. Okay, so if you care enough and gaming is enough of your hobby that you're actively, openly complaining about a thing like that, go buy a fucking Xbox. They're not that expensive.
You mean PlayStation?
I mean, yeah, I'm in PlayStation. I'm
Vice
sorry.
versa.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Either way, I
But-
mean,
'cause,
whatever
like-
platform goes
absolutely
Yeah.
fine.
agree
Okay.
with
So
you.
all of us here are pretty hardcore gamers, unless we're on Call of Duty multiplayer, and then we're fucking terrible. No offense.
Don't take it.
Hey, man, I did pretty damn good.
Can
I
I
have
do
that I
first
played.
persons?
Yeah.
I have my moments.
No, it's no. Our glory days were Halo 2 and Halo 3. So, but and original Modern Warfare 2.
See me on lockout, baby.
So, but for me and for all of us here, if there's a game that we want to play, and it's only on that console, then I'm gonna go.
Generally,
I'll go get that console.
I would really like to play Dread, but I don't want to buy a console just for Dread.
Oh, Metroid Dread. Yeah. Okay. So
There's almost literally nothing else that I would play.
that's a little bit of a unique situation because the Switch is so behind technologically compared
Yeah.
to the PS5 and the Xbox
but
One X.
I'm not over here on Twitter
Series X.
complaining to Nintendo to put it somewhere else.
Right. Remember, hey man, remember we can hook you up with this.
Oh, I
all
know.
right? Just-
They're
I know.
always-
Yeah, I am aware. I'm aware.
yeah.
So,
But
let's just say my Tears of the Kingdom experience is not 30 FPS, 720p.
Oh,
Let me
baby.
tell
Oh,
you.
I know.
and it's so funny too. I guess for me it's just rose-colored glasses that I just put up with it. I just don't care.
Actually,
I'm gonna play
it's it. In its defense, it is a well-performing game on the Switch. It's
It re-
a pretty solid
for what
30.
it is. 100%.
And it's a beautiful game.
As large as that game is, the only time I've ever been able to force loading times is going from really high in the air to really down in the depths as fast as possible. That's the only time I've been able to actually force loading time.
Yeah. No, solid game. They did a wonderful job with it. The Switch hardware does not feel like it's holding it back at all.
Yeah. We'll get to all that
Yes.
in a bit because I actually do want to have our kind of catch up what we've been playing over the last year, what we're into these days, and because things change. But to kind of finish off my point, it's like if you care that much, if you're that much of a hardcore gamer, giant quotation marks, I understand some people maybe if they have a bunch of kids or if they're in poverty, they just can't afford all the consoles. That's kind of understandable, but like I don't know, maybe it's a bit of a privileged position that I don't have kids. I have a good job. If I want the thing, I can go get the thing. So I'm going to have all the things. And what's really funny is I don't even have the current Xbox anymore because I don't play anything on it anymore. It's like we're talking about all this crap that Sony's done and and how evil of a corporation Sony is. And it's like, dude, PS5 has been my primary gaming system lately in general.
I absolutely love most of their first party stuff.
Yeah.
I really do. But I can separate that as being great devs from Sony being a terrible company.
Yeah, because I guess we can just go into some of our what we've been playing and all lately. Like, so let's get it out of the way. Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Probably, I'm leaning towards saying it's my favorite Zelda ever.
Really?
I'm gonna go on with that statement. I've previously said Breath of the Wild is quite possibly one of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah.
Not even Zelda's best games. And yet somehow Tears of the Kingdom took everything from that, and really the only negative about it is the goddamn weapon breaking shit.
Yeah.
If they'd have gotten rid of that, it'd be the best game I've ever played.
So, but they do have the fusing stuff. So you really get crazy weapon variety. Something I never even thought to do was fusing something to the Master Sword. I never even thought to do
To
that.
totally do it.
I for whatever reason, it's like that's unique. It's sacred. You don't touch it.
Sacrilege.
Exactly.
But if you take the Gibdo bones, that'll give you a nice one hit.
Oh
fucking
yeah.
slam
So
from hell.
when I started getting all of those, I was like, I have all of it. What the hell? And then I put them on a weapon, and one hit it breaks. So I went,
But that one hit is a hell of a hit.
okay, that's gonna go on an arrow, since that's a one-time use. You haven't finished it, right?
No.
Okay. Have you finished it, Zach? How far are you into it?
I got to like the Zora's Domain, and I kind of checked out because I got on Diablo 4, and now I'm on Final Fantasy 16, and
Yeah.
I need to get these things done, and then I need to go back to Spider-Man before 2 comes out.
To be fair, I took an entire week, another weekend off. I had like 9 straight days off to play Tears of the Kingdom, and I finished it. Well, I didn't finish the game, but I beat the game at midnight Monday morning before I had to go back to work. So and it was the first 3 days. If I was awake and not eating, I was playing, and it was great because I had this moment where during that time I was like, I need to cherish this moment because this sort of a thing, a game that's this important to me, because Zelda's my franchise. You guys know this,
Right.
It's like, when is the next time I'm going to be able to experience this sort of thing where it's like I'm on vacation, I don't have any responsibilities other than just your basic housework and making sure we eat and stuff, but it's like all I can do is just focus on this game 100% and just not worry about anything else.
And
Make sure the cats stay alive.
And that's they're definitely fed.
Yep. Hey, he not fat, he big bone.
I'm just saying he's bigger than the last time I saw him.
He is a large boy.
But no, that's kind of how it's felt for at least a year now for me. It's just the cadence of stuff coming out has been like, I am just in gaming heaven. Mm-hmm. All of the things I liked from 15 years ago, some of them are coming back, and it looks like some of them are going to keep getting made, specifically Dead Space. Dead Space looks like it's going to have a remake for 2 as well, and the remake for 1 was amazing. I mean, I just played through the New Game Plus version where you get like an alternate ending. That's basically like, 2's going to happen. I mean, because
really?
It goes right into 2.
Nice.
I mean, it is straight up his delusion.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I'm saying that on purpose to be vague in case somebody hasn't actually played through the New Game Plus.
I haven't played the remake at all yet. I
figured you hadn't. I didn't think it was something you were going to play.
I mean, I really enjoyed.
It's October jam for me for sure.
Oh,
I'm
dude.
Waiting for spooky season.
It used to be every single year, right around Halloween. Yeah, I would play one of the Dead Space games, if not multiple. But when I heard about the remake coming out, I was like, okay, I'm going to take a break. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait for it to come out. So I was waiting a little while longer than normal.
Mm-hmm. You did have something to play in place of that. Do you want to talk about it or nah?
What?
Callisto Protocol.
Oh, yeah. So,
because listening back on our last episode we did a year ago, that hadn't come out yet, and you were very excited for it.
Well, that was also because, but I did say I was like, I'm not sure which one I'm anticipating more.
Right.
Callisto being something that was from Glenn Schofield, so
right.
the original game director for Dead Space, or a remake of the original. And yeah, I mean, it was the original for sure. I mean, the remake of Dead Space was amazing, and Callisto was just, I don't know, man. It felt like it felt very reductive. Like it took all of the stuff that made Dead Space good out. I mean, almost all of it. Like the for instance, the weapons in the game, you can upgrade them, but the upgrades are so minimal. And yeah, they make changes to the weapon a little bit, but there's so much more that you get out of the whole node system in Dead Space. I don't know if any of y'all have ever played them. But yeah, it was like you add so many different things to it. You get to kind of, I mean, you really can like kind of customize it a little bit because you don't have to use all of the nodes. You can, but you don't have to.
Right.
But the weapons are totally different. The whole melee, the melee specific combat.
I heard the dodging was a bit wonky. Like
no, it's it's actually really easy and thus takes all the
suspense.
horror out of it because you're constantly in the monsters' faces. One of the things about Dead Space that makes it scary is you don't want them to get in your face. You're constantly backing up to get away from. That was one of the things that they talked about when they were doing the behind-the-scenes stuff, and they were saying, we took inspiration from Resident Evil 4. And Resident Evil 4, the original, had you stand in place. You couldn't walk and shoot.
You could not move.
So now in Dead Space, when they were making it, that was what they were going to do. They wanted to emulate Resident Evil 4, but as they were making it, they found that being able to move and shoot made it so much better because you were getting away from that threat, but that threat is chasing you. It flowed better for the horror.
The internet points.
Yes.
Actually, a previous conversation we had about the Resident Evil tank controls and then switching to Resident Evil 4, it was still the same controls.
Yeah.
Plus with the addition of the 3D, aiming or whatever for shooting, but it was still the same controls. They changed that camera angle. They had the ability to make fully 3D rendered backgrounds and everything. So that was kind of game changer. And I remember I was thinking about it. I was like, why couldn't they have put just a strafe mechanic in the old tank controlled games? Because that would have probably made it a lot better, but that would have reduced tension. And then also your left and right was just rotation, not strafe.
Yes.
It's like, I forget. Oh wait, no, we didn't have analog sticks when the very first original one came out.
Right, exactly. But yeah, and then I'm talking about Resident Evil 4. Oh yeah, they remade that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that was also fucking amazing.
Yep.
I literally played the game back to back. I played it and then played it again after.
That's my Dead Space.
I loved
that's one
it
I'll
so
come
much.
to every year in October.
Have you played the remake?
Yes.
Okay.
They nailed it.
Nailed
dude.
the shit out of it.
And it's so much fun to replay. So that's another one where I'm glad I picked one of the two. I was like, I've already played Resident Evil 4 a bunch, and I had this conversation in January. I was like, well, what game am I going to get in January? Because I had to kind of pick and choose now because there's so many this year, and I ended actually sitting on the Yakuza Inshin, the Like a Dragon, the Samurai deal, and that is
the new one.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
there
The
are
remake.
multiple games that have come out this year that I haven't even bought yet
It's
that I
insane.
wanted just because I have so much stuff left to play still.
Yeah, the back catalog is getting real. It's
That's a whole episode.
yeah. The
I'm not even joking.
No, I agree. With me, it's like I need, if I have one big game to focus on, it's got to be something that I'm really into. And right now, I'm procrastinating finishing Final Fantasy 16. I have enjoyed it very much. I am very close to the end. For some reason, I just when it comes time to what do I feel like doing, I just don't feel like playing it right now. I don't know if it's because I just don't want it to end or
Dude, whatever that is, and maybe there's actually a term for that specifically for gaming because I have that too. It's you're about to finish a game you like and you stop playing it.
yeah.
It's like you don't want it to end.
It's really a thing. But I don't know. I've really enjoyed. Where are you at in 16? Are you pretty far?
I want to say Ultima just went into Joshua.
Okay.
If that.
Yeah, I know what that means.
Yeah.
It sounds way dirtier than it really is.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know how to put this, but that's exactly what I just saw it happen last night. I'm like, okay.
That's the best way to put it.
Hey.
Yeah. 16. I was looking up where to find, because they have a monster board, giant monsters you can go in and fight and get good materials, rare materials, and renown and gil and all that.
It's like bounties, huh?
Sort of, yeah. But there's at least one or two of them that they don't tell you where it is. And yes, the maps are not that big. It's not an open world game, which people getting all butthurt about. It's like most Final Fantasies are not open world games for the most part.
I think a lot of people found out that they really didn't like open world games as much as they thought they did in recent years.
I guess because
it's overpopulated with random garbage quests.
well, okay.
It doesn't need to be as big as it is. I would rather have smaller maps and handmade stuff.
Yeah. So, okay. Final Fantasy VI. Is it open world?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
Okay.
it's what they call a gated open world.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's why I was
Yes.
kind of
Well,
hesitant.
It's
to-
a-
I mean,
it's
it was open world for SNES.
yeah.
But
Because
still,
the SNES couldn't have handled that shit.
okay,
They
so
could totally handle it.
yeah,
They
it
had
could.
that
It could-
crazy
that
God
game could have been
um,
as open as it wanted to be, but it is I'm using the term gated because you can only go as far as your abilities and your possessions allow you to go. It is an open world that is being played through in a linear fashion.
See, that's what I think most people think open world is. Because in 16, your overworld map is sort of like back in Tactics, where you just go to the point and then you're in that little area. Now, even still, each of the nations in 16, they have multiple points, but those are all just different warp points on one map.
Yeah, like
So, but again, it's gated, it's guided. You look at Final Fantasy VI or Final Fantasy VII, even Final Fantasy VIII. I didn't really play 9 that much, so I'm not sure. 10 had no overworld at all. That was all just point to
people
point.
are probably comparing it to more recent games, not games that old.
But they're getting bitchy about it's not a Final Fantasy because it's not open world. It's like, no, it actually is way more like the old. You want open world? You play Breath of the Wild.
The
Horizon.
same thing happened with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah,
Same
Horizon's
argument.
literally
Horizon,
open world.
Skyrim, all the Elder Scrolls games. Because once you get out in the world, once you pass the tutorial area,
Yeah.
you can just go where you want. Yeah, if you go to this one area, you're going to get your ass kicked badly, but you can go. You can't do that in almost, at least as far as I know. Granted, I haven't played them all. You generally can't do that in Final. Maybe the early
you could
NES
absolutely do that in 6.
ones. Yeah. Okay. Well.
But again, only to a point.
yeah.
Right.
Right.
Like I said, it was basically what open world was back then, but they didn't call it that back then. That term didn't
Yeah.
exist.
Right. But I think that's what people. I think a lot of these people that are complaining about it. I mean, it seems like most of the ones actually fussing about it are younger than us, for example, in our late 30s and whatnot. But their Final Fantasy games they grew up with are going to be like 12, the 13 trilogy.
The ones I didn't play.
13
Yeah.
was not open, right? I believe.
No, it was linear. It was very linear.
So
Yeah.
so they're complaining that it doesn't feel like Final Fantasy. What the fuck are you complaining to? Okay, yeah. So
you comparing it to 15, that's the only open world one I can really say. But like that in itself was so linear. You can only drive the car to certain spots until you
Yeah.
beat the game, and then you got your flying car, and then you still was limited to certain things. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
What do you want a Ubisoft game? Then play Assassin's Creed or Far Cry or
Yeah.
something like.
And
or,
that's the ones specifically I was referring to that I think a lot of people are tired of.
yeah.
I did start
The
Far Cry
Ubisoft
6.
open world.
I did start Far Cry 6 because they put it on
They're not bad games.
PlayStation
either.
Plus,
I mean,
or the whatever the
Yeah,
top
they're
tier
just-
thing is.
It's just something a little bit
it's
different.
a checklist. That's all I look at it as.
Yeah.
It's like basically going to the grocery store. Oh, I need milk, eggs, and honey.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah, I just watched a documentary about the Just Cause series. Same
Great.
thing.
Yep.
Especially Just Cause 2. It was a very open world. You could go and do things
Attach
everywhere.
anything to everything. See?
Yeah, you
Breath
had-
of the Wild learn.
You had your specific missions, but then you had your generic missions, which were just go find some shit to blow up.
Your phone.
Oh,
Yeah, you keep dropping it.
I'm gonna leave that thing
But
down.
it
all
was,
good.
It was just go find some shit to blow up. They didn't even tell you exactly what. It's just you need to wreak havoc.
Yeah.
So you go and you find something cool to blow up.
The
And
worst.
That was it.
The worst is the filler content, the filler quests and open world games. They, I mean, most
Especially
of the time,
fetch quests.
Most of the time, they're barely even fetch quests.
So 16, the side quests kind of start out like that, and they're at some point when you unlock the renown mechanic, it will actually has a different icon. Instead of a green little teardrop with an exclamation, it's got a little plus in it. So those will give you more renown, and as you unlock more renown, you can get more and more materials. Which honestly, almost I don't know. My biggest issue with 16 is that other than your abilities, there really isn't any sort of actual personalization that you can do. Because you have, as you unlock the different icon abilities, you can only have 3 of them, and you like default controls, you rotate with left trigger. And even then, out of those, you only have 2 out of 4 maybe that you can equip. Now, once you master them with ability points, you can put them on the other icon. So if you have the Phoenix, which is your default one that you start with, and you have some fire abilities, and then you get Garuda's the next one. Okay, so you can only have Garuda abilities on that. But if you mastered one of your fire abilities, you can put it on the other one. So if you wanted all your fire abilities, you could do that, but that limits you in other ways. That's about the most personalization you can do. You don't change your armor, and your gauntlets don't change your character at all. Your sword will change, obviously. But again, in cutscenes, it's the default one that's like, from the art, which is fine because Final Fantasy VII Remake did that with the Buster Sword.
That's one of the things too that like with 6, I remember playing that and being like, man, I don't remember a game ever. I'm saying Final Fantasy VI,
yeah,
in case it wasn't obvious. I don't remember a game before that where I got new weapons or armor and stuff, and it's like it actually changed my character.
Yeah.
Well, it definitely changed the weapon animations changed.
Yeah, the weapons specifically.
Characters themselves, not so much.
Yeah, no.
But
I was just saying.
I was actually thinking about how Matt was talking about the abilities. In 6, you have characters who, for the most part, didn't earn magic on their own. You'd use the Magicite system to actually teach them what magic you wanted them to learn.
Yes.
So if you had a character that you wanted this to be my healer character, well, you put on the Magicite that teaches them Cure and stuff like that. Or you want like your heavy hitter, you throw on Ragnarok and give them Ultima or something like that. I mean, it's that you didn't have a lot of cosmetic customization, but
what was it? Illumina? Didn't Illumina also teach you Ultima?
Illumina, I think that one taught you Holy.
If you turned it, no. It cast Pearl.
Which
now is
it was translated
right. But I think if you no, you know what it was? It's Paladin Shield.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
Curse Shield to Paladin Shield. That's what it is.
255 battles.
I'm gonna have to have a discussion with you guys after about 6 because I do have the Pixel remake and I am at right before the world changes.
Ooh.
And like that
level 30.
Huh?
Level 30.
As in B level 30?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You will have so much more fun on the floating continent at level 30. What are you at right now?
I'm not sure. I haven't played it in a bit, but it's like everything was going swimmingly. I wasn't struggling at all. Then I get there and it's like
that is a problem with 6.
It's like here is your ass.
There are a couple of points in 6 where the difficulty spike is so sharp that you can't even.
Well, I've also heard that with 6 because of the scaling of it, like if you level up too much, it just makes it harder.
No,
that's not really true.
Not
no.
Thing.
Oh, okay.
No,
well,
if you level up enough, you'll just blow it out of the water.
Yeah, you don't want to go too crazy with it, but for me, I found the sweet spot with going to the floating continent was level 30.
Okay, then what's the next point that I should worry about? Just
after that, really, it's completely up to you. Honestly,
up until the last couple of parts.
Yeah.
If you're going to go after the dragons, you want to be a bit higher level.
Yeah.
And then going after the
But if you get to that point,
Kefka.
but if you go at that point, you're going to be good for the end game.
No. That is not
the
true.
end game's another spike.
Yes. So
okay.
So like you hit level 30, do floating continent, hit World of Ruin. Once you get there, you should be good for a little while, but you'll find different spots where you'd be like, okay, this is a good spot for me to train up a little bit.
Okay.
Do a lot of stuff with your characters.
Yeah, because I know at least starting with 7, if you go for those crazy bosses like weapons in 7, if you can handle that, you can handle the end game. Because the end game is not as difficult as these bonus bosses.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Final Fantasy X, the Dark Aeons in the International Edition. Oh my fucking god! Like I was watching a streamer play and they're like, yeah, I'm gonna go do the Dark Aeons now, and like they've already beaten the game, and they go there and just one shot, boom, dead. She's just like, What?
I will say I'm at the very end of the game. I've got the tower, and I've got Kefka and a couple of dragons left.
Mm-hmm.
And the only normal enemy that poses any danger is the dinosaurs on Dinosaur Island.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I'm using to level up. I
That's-
have my Setzer as leading my team, equipped with lucky dice and whatever. Can't remember the item that lets him throw it multiple times, and I can usually one hit the dinosaurs with him alone. So he's my highest character at this point because of
Wow.
that goofy little.
Is it that you've got whatever they call offering now?
Yeah.
And you've got 2 sets of dice on him? Yeah.
No, I have one set of dice. He just throws it twice. He ends up rolling, I think, 8 times.
Okay.
It's 4 or 8 or whatever it is, but either way, the dice roll does a random amount of damage between about 130 damage to 9999 damage,
Oh wow.
and he throws it multiple times.
Yeah.
It's entertaining to watch unless you get a bunch of bad rolls and then they throw fucking. I don't remember what it is that they throw, but it's basically the Earth equivalent of Ultima, and it just blights everybody.
Oh, yeah.
See that style of
What is it,
character.
like the brontosaur or something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That style of character where it's sort of like a little random. I've never been drawn to that sort of a character.
it's consistent enough that it doesn't bother me.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
Like it's you're gonna hit way more often
It's not
than you're
Bungie
gonna miss.
RNG.
Because the other kind of it's what?
It's not Bungie RNG.
Oh yeah, okay. No, the other thing is like because he's one of the last character. Is he the last character you get?
No.
No, he's
Absolutely
actually
not.
like the 4th or 5th character.
Setzer?
Yeah.
You get him so that you have the airship so that you can go to.
How many more characters do you get after him? Because I thought
you don't get Shadow permanently until World of Ruin if
Yep.
you
Right.
play your cards right.
Yep.
right.
There's Realm. There's Strago.
I think Umaru
There's
is
Gogo.
probably the no.
Umaru.
Gogo is the last one you can get. I think.
Remember, I've never finished this game.
Gogo's an optional character, and you don't have to get him last. You can get him.
I think you can get every other character before that. Am I
you
mistaken?
can get him every other before that, but you can
Okay.
get him pretty much whenever.
Okay.
Once you're strong enough to get him, you can get him.
Zach, have you finished 6?
Maybe that's the
Nope.
one I usually get.
You
last.
haven't? Have
Nope.
you ever played 6?
Not much.
No. For me, well,
Pixel-
you're a couple years younger than us.
I was gonna say if you didn't play it originally, it might be difficult to play. I have a lot of nostalgia.
yeah.
tied to it.
Just so you know, we've discussed this before. Both of these two are like a year or two older than me, and when I played Final Fantasy III on the Super Nintendo, I did play it, but it was a little beyond my mental capacity when it came out. But 7 was my big introduction into the franchise.
most people's introduction.
Well, I mean, it was a huge shift
Yeah.
with the 3D graphics on the PlayStation. But for me, anyway, it was just I was a little bit older. I mean, it only came out a year or two after, I think, not even. So, because it came out in '97, was Final Fantasy VII. When did 6 come out?
94.
94.
Yeah, so
I looked it up. There's 14 characters.
oh goddamn.
Yep.
Terra, Locke. Never could figure out how to pronounce Celes.
I always said
Celeste.
Celes.
Celeste.
Oh, Celeste, I like
without
that.
Celeste. Edgar, Sabin,
That was a lot of
Cyan.
sounds.
Shadow,
Cyan.
Gao, Setzer, Strago, Realm, Mog, Gogo, and Umaru.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, 16 does have a Spoony Bard character.
Good.
It is a bard named Spoony Bard in the
Nice.
first Hideaway. But yeah, so I've going back to 6. I mean, I like that style of game for sure. I'd love the pixel art and all that mess, but
Especially in the Pixel remaster, they did a good job.
they
of-
did so good. It's
all
like
they did was updated the colors.
yeah,
They didn't redraw everything.
no, and I love and again the music. It's like
Oh my God.
it's exactly the same but resampled, and it's so good. I also have 4 that I bought. I just haven't
I'm going to end up
started yet.
Next
I
time
need
they
to
go
get
on
both.
sale, I'm going to get the whole pack, even if I never play them.
Yeah,
it's
the-
like I just want to support this. That's a proper remake.
I played 4 on the PSP. That was like the most PSP gaming that I did was when 4 came out on it.
I actually
and-
played 4 on PSP as well.
and I don't remember hardly any of it at all. I did
Really? You never
not. I
you
played.
never played the original.
I never played the original.
Okay.
I only played
That's
the PSP
why.
version one time.
It didn't affect you as much.
No,
That's
I
where
really
actually
did.
played 6 on my PSP.
Oh,
I
really?
Hacked it.
Nice.
There's a no. So I sent you the picture of the Dragoon from the beginning of 16. standing
Yeah.
just like
Yes.
is it Kane?
Kane.
Yeah.
Right now, dude, you're mentioning 4, and all I can hear is the opening theme.
Mm-hmm.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. Dude, it is in my head.
By the way, I am a Ben Starr, the voice actor for Clive, the English voice actor. I am a stan of his now. He is amazing.
He's a great dude.
His favorite Final Fantasy is 8, so I question his sanity a little bit. But
Yeah.
he's
Somebody
awesome.
had to like it.
He's awesome. I really loved 8 growing up. I still like 8, but I acknowledge it is a batshit weird game. It's fucking crazy. It's out there.
It's crazy the card game in it is better than the regular
That's the
game.
best. It's the best mini game. It's probably one of the best mini games in existence.
Yeah.
And the fact that they put that exact version of it in Final Fantasy XIV Online, the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV Online.
Well, I think Gwent would be the only other game inside of a game that
Gwent
surpassed
Gwent
the
really
huge
took
of the
off.
game.
Gwent
yeah.
is huge
Yeah.
too. But my point of bringing up the Dragoon thing, I've had on Twitter, I've had a random promoted ad for some company, I'm not sure, but it has a golfer on it, and he's almost standing in the exact same position with his leg up like that. And I'm gonna see if I could find this so I can show you guys because it's really funny. It's like
he
I
might have been a fan.
I wanted to send it to you, but I'm like, I don't want to actually share this, and I probably could have just taken a screenshot and just sent that, but I
Yeah.
just never got around to doing it. But
Talking about, I think it's like Tony Omega over in Japan. He's like a professional wrestler, comes out to like One Wing Angel all the time.
That's
Like,
cool.
Oh, nice.
It might be a Kenny Omega or something like that, but like, yeah, it's YouTube rabbit holes I've fallen
here it
down
is.
behind.
kind of
Okay,
right.
Yeah.
Just gonna throw this out there too. Very new game that I've been playing, and oh my god, it is one of only 2 Alien games that have actually been good.
Oh boy.
Dark Descent.
Okay.
Yeah, you. What is? How does that play?
It's odd, man. So you've got an overhead view, like a lot of strategy games are, but it's real time, and you control one squad. That's it. So you don't build a base in the place that you fight. You kind of build up your ship, which is crash landed. That happens at the beginning of the game. So
I mean, if it doesn't crash land, you don't have a story.
Yeah.
Just saying.
That's very, very true for this. But yeah, it that happens right at the beginning of the game, and then so you've got one squad. That's it. You don't build anything while you're out there. Your squad gets stress every single time you face one of these things, and it seems like it shouldn't affect you as much as it does, but holy shit, man. It's like you get these situations where you get somewhere and you're like, okay, you can use welders and you'll weld doors like they did in Aliens, and you can make a shelter, and you can save when you do that, and when you do, you reduce the stress of your people. You get to these open spaces and you're like, shit, there's going to be a lot of them I have to face here. I'm probably going to have to face a queen at some point. I'm going to have to go through this whole freaking place. I can't save. So the stress of your characters, you very much feel that as well. And it affects you, man. There's a stage where you actually go to an atmosphere processor, like they did in Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
That whole ending of that level, holy shit, dude. I was on the edge of my seat. I'm like, oh my God, this is the Aliens game I've wanted forever. Like what Alien Isolation was to Alien, Dark Descent is to Aliens.
Okay.
Nice.
That's the game that captures the feeling of it.
So then the next one's going to be Alien 3.
I hope not.
So does it play more like XCOM or?
It has been compared to XCOM, but
Okay.
as somebody who is literally playing XCOM 2 again right now, because there are some technical issues.
I started
with
a new
Dark
game kind of
Descent.
recent too.
there are some technical issues with Dark Descent, and I literally had to stop playing it. But much like I said about Mass Effect earlier, it is a flawed masterpiece.
Nice.
It is very, very good. But yeah, I started playing XCOM 2.
Dude, Midnight Suns is a sleeper hit. Like,
See,
that's
I've heard a lot
one-
of people say that, and I don't care about a Marvel
Yeah.
anything. right now.
I just love that, like how like certain things with like I was like turned off, and then like I found out you can go and like bring Blade into the hot tub, and I was like, all right, I'm in.
Yeah, there are. I remember
Romance
talking about there
options.
are romance options.
And but yeah, like the combat system in there was just amazing because like you can bounce off of people, and there's like certain conditions like explosions,
Yeah,
electrical.
Well, I mean, they built on some of the stuff they did in XCOM 2, and it was Jake Solomon, who's now gone, unfortunately. So I'm guessing it's going to be a very long time before we get an XCOM 3, if ever. Yeah, exactly. That's what people have been saying.
So XCOM 2 on PS5 does not run as well as it does on Xbox.
I play it on PC only. It's one of the few things I play on
Mods.
PC. And why? The Tactical Legacy Pack. It completely changes the game. I mean, it completely changes the game. It gives you new personalities. It gives you new maps. It gives you new weapons. It gives you a whole storyline that happens before XCOM 2, like literally leads into XCOM 2.
Oh, wow.
Yes. It is completely worth it, and I think it's only like $15 when it's not on sale.
Dude, yeah, I was going to say, I bought, because since I got rid of my Xbox, which
But
is what I primarily played it on, they had a sale.
I know, yeah.
The entire
Yes.
game, all of the DLC, $9.
The collection,
Mhm.
yes.
Like, come on. I mean, how can you pass that up?
What
They're getting to Nintendo levels of ridiculousness of me rebuying this shit because I
Yes.
own it on PC too.
Yes, same.
Yeah.
I bought the whole thing that was available on Xbox, but wanted the Tactical Legacy Pack so bad that I repurchased War of the Chosen and the Tactical Legacy Pack to play it there. And I don't even fucking care that I did. That's
Yeah.
how much I love that game.
Yeah, it's so
I've
good.
I'm at 450 hours on it or something.
Nice.
Yeah. I have gotten way more than my money's worth, and that's not including however much I have on Xbox, which was a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The loading screens of PS5 after playing on the Xbox, like even I can't remember it. I think it was the Series X version that was like loading times were just
PlayStation was the worst.
yeah.
PlayStation was the worst port of it.
Yeah.
Xbox was okay, but on PC there is literally no loading time whatsoever on my computer, so I
Yeah.
know that wouldn't be on yours.
Oh no, absolutely not. I don't want to talk about the computer right now. I'm still
Yeah.
stressed about it. I
Okay.
did finish my Windows 10 install, so
Okay.
that's all good.
Good.
But man, I'm
Oh
just-
yeah, I forgot you were doing that.
Yeah.
It's like I got it working, and it's like cool. I haven't touched it in a week because I'm tired of it's like when I'm troubleshooting shit on the PC, I can only handle so much at a time before I'm just like I don't want any part of this anymore. You know, but it's like
And that's one of the reasons why I tend to play stuff on console, because when
Yeah.
shit goes wrong on PC, you're just
True.
You have no option to just I just want to play this game. If something's broken, it's broken.
so. But yes, and that's the main reason why I've been a console pleb most of my life. But the experiences that I want to play these days have to be on PC. Sim racing, sim flying.
Oh, I don't blame you, dude. I actually kind of wish I would have bought Dark Descent on PC now because it didn't have the problems.
It's not too late.
On console. I may actually do that because I'm not sure if there's an issue with my Series X or not.
Oh, really?
So I moved it from where I had it. I had it in horizontal orientation, and now I have it vertical. I think the Series X works better vertical.
I always had a vertical. I didn't play it that much.
I'm
either,
saying
so.
that because it's weird the difference between the Series X and the PS5. The PS5, all of the heat pulls at the bottom of the console
when it
So-
stands up.
So no, when it's on its side too. All of the heat pulls at the bottom of the console. So I think that's the problem a lot of people have when they stand it up because
Yeah.
it's on a surface, so it's heating that surface too.
Yeah.
So if you have it on its side, it has more air. It can breathe.
So both of mine, the main reason I stood them both up was because for one, the Series X would fit in my
But it would be tight.
entertainment center. It would be tight and it would get really hot.
Yeah.
But also they both used to block the cats from getting to the wires behind the TV
Yeah.
as well. Like since I got rid of the
two
Series X,
towers.
I have a shoebox in its place just to keep. But they don't really go messing around over there anymore anyway.
Kinda
So
grew
it's
out of it.
well, they showed a lot of because literally the day we got those cats,
Something new.
well, that's the thing. The day we got those cats, they were very young. They were maybe 8-9 weeks old.
I remember.
And I had that glass top open thing with all the wires very exposed. And I'm like, well, I need to get something else. So we just went to Target and they had a thing that I happened to like. And I built it right then and there.
And you remembered having two
And
cats before.
I was very vigilant about. I was actually telling somebody we were talking about cats after work yesterday because that one black cat that what's his face kept feeding.
John.
Don't say his name. He's been hanging around again.
I could just say Laser Man.
Yeah. Yeah, I was very vigilant about anytime they went over there, we were like, like pointing and like, yelling no and squirting a squirt bottle at them if they got too close. So now they kind of know. They've learned very well what not to go fuck with. But
I caught that cat at the shop eating some red beans and rice out of a trash can.
oh no, that's definitely a house cat.
Wow.
Like, cause he's. I mean, dude, he like 4 of us were standing around talking yesterday, and he rolled up and just plopped over on it, like exposed his belly to us.
He's like, pet me.
Yeah, and I was like,
Who loves Kitty?
Laser Man, dude.
so question. I've seen possibility that Nvidia is not going to put out the 50 series for like another couple of years. Is that, you think there's any merit to that?
I would think a max of 2 years.
Because I want to get to I want a better video card. I have a good video card, but for what I'm doing, I need the best video card.
What do you have?
I have a 3080,
Okay.
but it's got it's the low one. It's
He has
10
the
gig.
same one that I have.
It's the 10 gig VRAM, and dude, the simulation games need more.
Right.
Like I literally, I found a video. I think I don't know if I told you about this. I told him. I found a video about all your PC settings. It's like 45 minutes of all these settings to make Flight Sim in VR run good at like 90 frames a second.
This is another reason why I would rather just play a lot of stuff on console.
So all of this. So I did all of this. Now the main difference is he had a lower tier CPU, but he had a 3080 Ti, and I think I have either the same or more RAM than he did. So I should be able to do pretty much all these same settings, and no, it does not work.
Wow.
So I brought up the hardware monitor on the OpenXR thing, and once I got
Looking for your bottleneck.
once I got in the sim, sitting in a cold plane on an aircraft carrier, my GPU, my VRAM is maxed out, 100%. And and most of my settings are lower medium.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's strange.
yeah. I'm wondering if maybe I just have a lemon card,
Possible.
because with iRacing, I'm running triples on that. Mainly, I mainly went to triples because of streaming. And also, originally when I got into it with the first Rift, the resolution wasn't there. It's there now. With the G2 V2, I'm pretty happy with the resolution for the cost of it. I don't feel like going to spend $1,500, $2,000 on a damn Pimax Crystal, which looks apparently like amazing, but it's also, you need a 4090, which costs about almost $2,000, $1,600 to $2,000, and then the headset, which is another $1,600 to $2,000. So you're looking at almost $4,000 just for those two pieces of equipment, not including the rest of the PC or all the peripherals that I already have, admittedly. But it's just, I want immersion. I want the most immersion I can get, financially, feasibly.
You want Ready Player One level.
I mean,
They
As
have
close as
haptic-
you can get.
They have the haptic suits now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was about to say the OWO. I want to say Assassin's Creed has their own one that is absolutely insane. It's $500 for the shirt.
really,
Yeah,
It's a thing.
I do know that like Next Level Racing came out with a haptic chair pad, so it's got 8 different vibration zones, but they're just little vibration motors, whereas there's another company that the name is escaping me, and it is a more expensive thing, but it was designed for flight sim, and they're actually little bass transducers rather
That's what you
than
want.
vibration motors. Yeah. Well, after I've got 2 bass transducers on my racing rig now, just one under the seat and one under the pedals. I think I want to do a third one on the back of the seat to differentiate the tire stuff from the engine stuff and the transmission.
Who is it that does the vest? The vest where you can feel it,
Yeah,
it
that's
uses
a thing.
sound.
That's a thing too. Yeah.
Yeah, that was an early version. They've come
Okay.
out with the real thing now.
Okay.
Yeah. But the thing is, the problem is that I can't. It's like it's in DCS especially. It's so stuttery. As monster of a computer as I have, it's damn near unplayable. And I'm like, it's a $3,000 computer.
I know.
Granted, I was inflated a bit because of crypto prices and stuff when I bought it, but that was the only way I was able to get a decent card. But now it's like, well, shit, I want a 4090, but I'm going to need a bigger case. And then I'm thinking about it. Maybe should I go to DDR5? I may as well just build a whole new goddamn PC at this point.
that's where I'm
You know?
at right now.
Yeah, because I don't know. It's just. But if they're gonna wait a few years, like instead of a yearly update or 18 months or whatever they do, if it's actually going to be 3 years like I saw, maybe I don't want to wait that long. Maybe I will get a 4090 when they start dropping in price a little bit.
I don't feel like they're going to wait that long.
No,
I don't think-
corporate
I don't
Because
think
greed will
AMD
allow
ain't
them
going to
to.
wait. AMD ain't going to wait that long.
No.
AMD caught up because Intel slipped.
Yeah, they kind of came into the game. late.
Intel's TikTok cycle, they missed. I think it was a talk that they missed.
Mm-hmm.
That's why AMD kept caught up.
Mm.
AMD got their die shrink. Intel missed it, and that allowed AMD to actually become competitive again.
Yeah.
So Intel's not going to miss it again.
You're talking about the CPU side of market.
Yes,
Yeah.
but
Because Intel does make cards now.
Yeah,
the Intel Arc series, which turns out is a really good bang for the buck.
Did you
as
mean
long as
AMD makes cards now?
No, Intel makes graphics cards now. The Arc
Oh.
series. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
pretty new. It's pretty new. They
Yeah.
just came
Okay.
out late
They're-
last year, I think.
they're pretty cheap.
Yeah, they are the bang for the buck winner as long as you're not playing anything older than DX12.
Yeah.
DX11 and beyond, it's not very good because it uses a lot of software emulation.
But it's also their first time doing it. Although they
They have better ray tracing performance than NVIDIA.
well,
which is crazy.
and that's because they have better integration with their own CPUs,
I think,
correct? Because it's
No,
all,
it's just better card.
I think Digital Foundry was talking about this.
Yeah.
Digital Foundry's been
recently.
watching it very close.
Yeah.
But yeah, on a DX12 ray tracing game, dollar for dollar, you're going to get better out of the Intel cards than you do
Yep.
NVIDIA
I'm
or
trying to
AMD.
remember what they were comparing. It was the two technologies. It was AMD's version and
It's
NVIDIA's version.
FSR and DLSS.
That's
There
it.
you go.
That's it.
DLSS is the best of all of them
That's
right
it.
now.
this is the frame.
FSR is okay,
Yeah, they
and
were
then
saying
Intel's got one called XESS,
they were saying FSR 2.
We're talking about frame generation stuff, right?
upscaling.
Upscaling. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
the frame generation is only in DLSS 3.
That's right. Yeah,
They were comparing FSR2 to DLSS,
Mhm.
and I can't remember what game it was, but they were saying, FSR2 it's just not there.
Yeah, it's
Like
close.
it's better, but it's not there.
FSR is less hardware specific. Even Tears of the Kingdom has FSR in
Yeah,
it
it does.
on a Switch.
Wow, really?
On NVIDIA hardware.
That's true. Yeah.
But DLSS is NVIDIA specific,
Right.
but you get better results out of it.
Right.
And especially DLSS 3 on the 40 series with the frame generation. Digital Foundry put out a Unreal 5.2 video, and that they show some of the frame generation in one of their demos, and it's like a 30 or 40% increase in frame rate. Whenever you zoom in or you look at still frames, yeah, you see the quality loss. But at 130 something frames per second, you don't notice shit. And I don't want to hear anybody bitch about it because you're not going to notice shit.
No, not at all.
Like, get over it.
As long as it's smooth, man. Like,
That's my thing. I want consistency more than anything.
well, that's what with 16. I've been jumping between the performance mode and the graphics mode because like the graphics mode does give you a solid 30 and it's nice.
Yeah.
And then they did the motion blur patch was very nice as well because like that's how I'm doing it. I usually always go performance, but like the graphics mode with the motion blur all the way down, it's like this is nice. It's consistent 30. But like the performance, it's like I turned that on and it's like the 60 in combat is perfect. Like
In combat, that's because I'm pretty sure it's rendering at a lower resolution.
it is. So
No.
During
it's kind of
combat.
pooty.
Now that's.
But I mean,
another
everything's
thing.
moving so fast. You got all this shit. I mean, it's so fucking crazy. It's like you're not going to notice. Oh, is that still 1440p?
Yeah,
You
I
know.
don't care. I
So-
just want it consistent.
Yeah.
Do you have any VRR capable displays?
Yeah, I have an OLED CX.
I love him.
Yes,
Same one I
sir.
have. I have
Yep.
that, and both of my computer monitors are VRR.
Paul Biden got me that one.
Yes, dude. VRR is it's kind of like HDR. You can't demonstrate it except on an HDR display. Well, you can't demonstrate VRR except on a VRR display, and it's crazy how much of a difference it really makes.
Yeah, there's a little thing I might have to give you the video for. Well, you said that you're doing tiers and other means, but you can kind of emulate 60 frames on because you do like a triple buffering on the LG TV,
Yeah.
to where it kind of looks like it.
You're not talking about motion smoothing, huh? Because
It's-
I refuse.
No, it's another setting. It says like
Okay.
triple buffering.
gotcha.
It's like a
You got some wild settings on this TV,
Nice,
which
nice.
is nice. Actually, Actually, I'm using Yuzu with a couple of the mods for it. Specifically, I am internal upscale to 1080p native with a Yuzu upscale to either 1440 or 2160, depending on whether I'm playing on PC. And I have the 60 FPS cap unlocked. So most of the time it's running at a full 2160-60. The weird thing is, like I was telling Matt yesterday, that is the only game that I currently play that maxes out my video RAM.
Wow.
That game is using 10 gigs of video RAM on a 3080. There's reasons behind it.
Unoptimized.
No. Missing feature.
Huh?
There's a texture compression mode that the Switch supports that's very common in mobile chipsets, but doesn't exist in PC chipsets. So it's having to uncompress the textures before it uploads them to the video card.
Oh, wow.
So it's strange to think that the game is using 10 gigs of uncompressed textures, but it's running on a Switch with the compression. I think
That's kind of wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the term is ASTC. It's something like that. But yeah, it's
Over my head.
and the funny thing is some of the Intel onboard chipsets do support that. So you can actually run it using less video RAM on an embedded Intel chip than you can on a 30 series RTX card.
Wow.
God damn.
That's
Wow.
insane.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But for the most part, aside from your usual shader compilation stutter, it runs beautifully. But you get that on... That's actually another thing that they were talking about with the 5.2 Unreal Engine update, is that they actually took a hint from emulators and made the shader compilation asynchronous. So it virtually eliminates your shader stutter. So
Hell yeah.
that'll be nice to see, because that's annoying. But,
So what about games still coming out this year that you guys want to play?
They have more games coming out this year?
Yep. For me, the first one that came to mind was Spider-Man 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very excited for that.
Day one.
I knew you wanted to play that one.
Yeah.
Because I knew you enjoyed the first one.
Oh, dude, they were so good, both of them. And Miles Morales was a very different sort of a.
Wasn't I thought that was just DLC.
It's
Oh,
its
it was
own kind of.
standalone.
It's not as long as the original, but it's its own standalone
Okay.
title, which I think they're on PlayStation Plus some form right
But,
now.
Yeah, Miles is definitely. I don't know if they're remastered or whatever of the
we discussed
Spider-Man.
this whole remastered thing because the last episode we recorded, it wasn't out yet.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, I was like, I already have it on my PS5, but then there's this remaster version, which I think what they did was they actually took, or the one thing that will, I mean, there's probably a lot of features. I haven't looked into it all, but in the Miles Morales DLC, they changed Peter's character
Yes.
model.
Yes.
And I think the remaster is that version of him in the
Yes.
main game.
It is.
Yes.
Which sucks because I mean I thought he looked fine. I mean he's been Spider-Man for 8 years in the thing. He should look a little older than like
There was
16 or whatever.
There was a lot of people saying, "What was the point of that? The changing of his character model."
I think they
and
I
they
don't know.
never gave a good answer.
They didn't. They should have kept them the
Yeah.
original.
They tried to say that it was like, oh well, it looks more like the voice actor Yuri. It's like, come on now.
See,
I thought-
I heard that too. I heard that too, and I was like, no,
I thought the original one looked more like
Yes.
Yuri than the second one.
yes. So that didn't make any sense.
We love you, Yuri. You're the best.
Absolutely.
Look, it's still
Well, I mean, Keith David's the best, but
That's fair. That is fair.
Spawn. He is Spawn still to this day. To me, Keith David is Spawn.
Admiral Anderson.
Yes, he is also Anderson.
Yep. Dude, Mass Effect is sort of getting like a little bit of a revival in the streaming community.
I mean, four
Well, but no, like
is going to happen.
I've been a lot of what I've been watching on YouTube is just
2032 or something like that.
I've really gotten
I
into
don't-
what
No.
bastards. I've really gotten into watching streamers play games that I know and love for the first time because I get to see all that visceral
The
reactions.
reaction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
living kind of re-experiencing it vicariously for the first time is very cathartic to me. I don't know why. I just really like it. But yeah, like one of the ones I found this one that she just did Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's her first Final Fantasy ever, and she just started playing Mass Effect yesterday for the first time. She lingers way too long on decisions and worries about too much. She overthinks it way too much, so it's going to be kind of annoying to watch that.
There's a reason why I don't stream.
Yeah, but
Yep.
but otherwise she's very entertaining. But it's just, I don't know, it's for whatever reason Mass Effect is getting, it's like there's a resurgence in it, even though Legendary Edition's been out for 2 years now almost, I think. So
Well, remember, I told you it wasn't that long ago that Legendary Edition was free on PS5.
yeah,
I bet you a lot of people
It was on
never played it and got it for free.
Actually, now that you say that, I picked it up for $15.
I know
a few weeks ago.
I know.
So,
We
yeah.
talked about it.
That might be.
And I
that
was like,
could be
dude,
why.
it was for free later, like earlier
Yeah.
in the year, and you were like, really?
Yeah, but Andromeda's constantly $9 and nobody's playing that. But
There's a reason.
dude, it wasn't that bad.
the facial
the
models,
end game
man.
was fun.
It's creepy.
What was my face is tired?
Oh no, have you seen? I saw there's a clip from one of the Transformers movies where Optimus Prime is beating the shit out of some Decepticon, but it's voiced by Peter Dinklage, and he has even less emotion than he did as Dinklebot in Destiny. It's like the reinforcements as he's like his head's getting grinded on something. I was like, and it was
It's like-
straight out of context as just the clip. Yeah, that looks pretty. That looks pretty.
It's like
crappy,
he
but
shot his full acting load in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm done.
He did,
And
he,
an elf.
He did.
Call me elf one more time.
He was
He's
so
an angry little elf.
Dude, I still remember. I still remember like first season Tyrion. First season Tyrion was awesome.
Dude, his whole character, that was like, he was one of the best actors in the show, I think. And he doesn't even have he's American.
Well,
Or
and here
he's
was
American.
and here was the thing. It's always about, okay, who was the director, who was the writer, who was the actor.
Yeah.
Which one did the heavy lifting?
Yeah.
So if it was good writing,
Yeah.
a lot of times you don't need a good actor.
Natalie Portman in the prequels, just saying.
Hey.
Because she's way better than what those movies show. But, whatever. Actually, I saw a clip on a thing on whatever this morning about
Who was it that hadn't seen Leon? Was it you?
The Professional?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. Who was I talking to that hadn't seen Leon?
There
It was somebody else.
It was a long time ago, but yeah, she was good in it.
I think. Who was that? Because it was somebody they like.
Okay.
They had just recently watched it or something.
That's what it was. That's what it was. We were okay.
Phenomenal.
I
couldn't
can't
remember.
think of who that was.
Great movie.
Was
if
that one of
anybody's
our
listening.
mini group chats that we're all in together?
No, I think that
No,
was,
no.
I think
this
was Brad.
Yeah, I think this was live.
Oh, okay.
And
No,
it
this was
probably
we were on
was
live,
Brad.
and he had mentioned if he had ever seen it. It's like, dude, that's like one of my favorite
'Cause
movies.
I don't
ever.
think it was Chris.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Brad.
I think you're
don't
right.
think Chris would watch anything like that,
Yeah.
which is a shame. Yeah, actors and actresses that do better because of the writing. I was thinking of Underwater.
Oh, dude, that's a really good movie that
mean,
I've watched
Oh,
multiple times.
Kristen Stewart.
And I'm not.
It was good.
That wasn't, dude.
I'm
I
not really a
love-
fan of her, but I
neither.
really like that movie.
I think my favorite part about the movie is it's reversed from a normal movie. A lot of movies are slow at the beginning to introduce everybody, and then they go balls to the wall second
Yeah.
half. This one, it's like, this is a dream sequence, right?
Nope.
Right? And then she's running down the hall, and dude number 2 runs in. I'm like, oh shit, this is really happening.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not 5 minutes into the movie, and all hell's breaking loose. It's like, okay, this is a different
Yeah,
movie.
no, I
Maybe.
enjoyed it more than I
and you
expected.
don't know shit about anybody, but you learn as the movie goes.
Yeah,
I really
it's like
enjoyed
maybe
that.
2 minutes and just
Yeah.
The new Evil Dead was like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
The dude that did that is doing the new Alien movie.
Oh
Ooh,
man,
that should be good then.
Dude,
Alvarez, Fede Alvarez.
Where does this fall? Is this post Covenant or is this something totally
This
different?
is a standalone movie. It has the tentative title of Romulus. No idea if that has any bearing on the movie or if it's just the name of the station it's on. I was going to say ship because both Prometheus and Covenant were both named for the ship.
Right.
But this is happening on a station, so I would guess the station is called Romulus. Just putting that out there.
I really enjoyed Prometheus and Covenant.
I like Prometheus. Yeah.
I wanted something else. I didn't dislike them, but I really, really, really want Earth War. God damn it! I want
So
Earth
you
War.
want more? You want the more actiony stuff,
no,
like
no.
Aliens, right?
I want what the comics of Earth War was from back
I've
when.
never read those.
It was they continued the story of Newt and Hicks. They didn't die in 3, and they go back to Earth, and there's this crazy thing with the Queen has like a telepathy, and it messes with people that whoever's around. So the telepathy gives people nightmares. And Newt's back on Earth, and she starts having nightmares like she was having when she was on LV-426. She realizes they're here. And that's kind of how it starts. And the whole arc is Earth gets taken over by the aliens. They actually have to abandon Earth completely and then come back later to try and retake it.
Wow.
That's Earth War. Earth War
Yeah, that sounds good.
screams trilogy, like
Yeah.
tons of money for studios. Make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, make a trilogy. The first one is them getting forced out.
Yes.
They lose
Yes.
the end of the first one.
And then there's a ton of stuff that happens off world. They go to a different planets, crazy shit. Scientists doing shit they shouldn't be doing, as is usual in Aliens. But yeah, and then the last one is coming back, retaking Earth. Yeah, dude, it is such an easy 3-act story, and they just haven't
sounds
done
like
it.
it. Yeah. I know I mentioned this to you, and it might have been in the group chat with you. There was I saw an Easter egg from the original Alien, or it might have actually been featured in Aliens, but it was showing the profile of Dallas, and he worked for Tyrell Corporation.
You told me about this.
Yeah,
yeah.
That was an Easter egg that they said he worked for Tyrell before he went to Wayland.
Ridley Scott joint.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I was like, that was the clickbait of the thumbnail that I saw, and I was like, okay, that's interesting because it's like Tyrell, and I'm like, well, okay, what is this? And that was enough for me to go watch the video. It was a very clickbaity video, but it was interesting.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning it, saying like, so Blade Runner and Alien, same universe?
Right. You think I should get a Wayland patch to go on my jacket next to the
I
Tyrell one?
fucking would.
Wayland Tiny. Totally.
Building better
Yep.
worlds.
Well, we're about time, just right about an hour and a half like we normally do, so I'm getting hungry. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, I was kind of debating what to do.
Yeah,
I can eat.
cool. Well,
Just to throw it out there, one of the other things that I thought you might like that's
Okay.
coming is Armored Core 6.
Yes.
I'm
yes.
surprised you didn't mention it.
I forgot about it, but
Well,
yes,
we didn't even,
Starfield
we didn't
as
even
well.
really go down our
Oh,
rabbit
God.
hole of what's upcoming. For that matter, we didn't go into a lot of what we've been playing.
Hey,
I tried to steer it sometimes, but
Hey, look,
we were
this
going
is
off.
this is the nature of this podcast.
Oh, I know.
Yep.
You know, it's
I'm not complaining.
It's our charm, I hope. And now we just have more shit to talk about next time.
That's fine.
Whenever that happens.
Zach, thanks for coming on. That was
Yes.
a lot of
Baby.
fun. Everybody, be good or be good at it. And until next time.
Later.